Okay, I have a confession, especially as a professional speaker and trainer. Sometimes my message, it doesn't land. I know. You would think that a professional speaker can land his or her message every single time they speak. But I've said it before and I'll say it again. I am a complicated human being with my own fears, desires, and messy ideas communicating to other complicated human beings with their own fears and desires and their own ideas as to how the world works and functions. And sometimes the message, the channels, they don't quite line up. Now, in my old days, I would instantly go into blame. I would blame the audience or the judges of the competition or the people in front of me. Whoever I was speaking to, if my message didn't land, I would say, well, there's something wrong with them. They're not smart enough. They don't have enough experience. They're not in the right place. They're not the right people. They're just not as good as I am. In other words, they don't get it. They don't get how brilliant and creative and articulate I am. And that's a really, really terrible way to live your life, especially as a communicator. Here's what you need to know. You are responsible for your communication. And there's 3 key elements that you need to keep in mind when understanding how you are responsible for your communication. Number 1, you are responsible in having a clear message. I cannot tell you how many times I work with speakers or I see speakers who are engaging and they're funny and they're great storytellers and they have great data and I have no idea what they're talking about. And unfortunately, I don't think they do either. Sometimes people just stand up and talk because they like to talk. There's a difference between taking someone in your car and going into an actual destination. And there's a difference between having someone come into your car and just driving them gently around town. Now, nothing wrong with either context. However, if you are being a paid speaker or you are a leader and the people in your car are expecting you to go somewhere, it's really frustrating when you're just wandering around town. I'm going to link a video here from TED, which is a fantastic resource as to how you can develop and communicate that just one message. Number 2, you are responsible for how you deliver the message. There are different mediums and different forms of communication, and they all have their value. And sometimes the right message can be communicated in the wrong way. And sometimes the right message can be communicated in the right way, meaning the right channel, but you didn't consider the audience in mind when you were delivering that. For example, we've all sat through the very, very dull, boring presentation where the speaker has 176 slides, and each one of those slides has multiple paragraphs on the slides, and well, they just read the slides. The information might be true, it might be 100% accurate, but the way that that message was delivered is not effective and not taking the audience into consideration. And finally, most importantly, you are responsible for the response of your message. However your message is received, it's a reflection on how you as a communicator prepared and delivered that message. Yes, there are definitely factors involved in communicating with other human beings. As I said before, sometimes those human beings that you are communicating with, they have their own fears and anxieties and roadblocks and life situations and whatever the case may be that might be interrupting or might be preventing your message from getting to them. But think about it this way. If you're a leader and you're communicating to a stressed out employee, an employee that has so many things in their world, both personal and professional, and you work to land a message, the message doesn't land, and then you put blame on them that your message didn't land, that's not just not good communication skills. That's not good leadership. You're not taking into account the obstacles, the noise around that individual that are preventing your message from being heard. And it's okay that sometimes your message doesn't land. It's a great opportunity for reflection for yourself. In the comments, I'm going to put a link to one of my favorite books, one of the most impactful books that I've read in my own speaking and entrepreneurial journey. It's called The Practice by Seth Godin. And his basic argument is this: whatever you are, however you are a creator, maybe you're an artist, a spoken word artist, a performing artist, a speaker, a leader, whatever your craft is, the best way to improve your communication skills and your efficacy in that art form is to ship your work. The concept of shipping your work means that you package it, you create it, and then you ship it off for the world to see. That was one of the main intentions and one of the catalysts for starting this YouTube channel, is that I realized that I was not shipping my work. I had all of these great ideas that I was holding to myself. And I was holding them to myself because I was afraid. I was afraid of how people might think, how people might react. What might they say? How might they criticize my videos? And let me tell you, there's no one more critical of my videos than this guy. And as my channel has progressed and as my videos continue to develop, I've started to realize what works and what doesn't work. I've started to own my responsibility in communicating to you all. So my main takeaway is this: you are responsible for your communication. And in order to improve your communication or any art form that you are a part of, it is so important to get yourself off of mute and ship that work. As always, make sure that you hit subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time,